Yeah, it's rich in bunly goodness.
Do you remember when you lost your passion for this work?
I invited another friend. I hope that's okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And no, you are not seeing things. The after school special this time is a live show. Yes, live and in color and all of that, because we have a special guest, and we like to accommodate our guests. So that's why we have the special time, special airing. Got some great stuff to talk about. So let me bring up my co-host, Fat Steven Seagal. Fat She-Hulk Seagal.
She-Hunk, pretty much.
Yeah,
if Abby can do it, I can do it too. Hulk smash.
I can't. That is so darn offensive. I can't, because the She-Hulk comics, like when I get off from work, my part-time job, in high school, I'd drive my little beater car to the 7-Eleven, get my Mountain Dew, box of Skittles, and then go to the comic spinner rack. I do not remember She-Hulk looking like a dude in the comics on the spinner rack. I mean,
is that better? Do I look better like this?
That is way better.
Yeah.
That's She-Hulk. That was She-Hulk.
I'm gonna make a disclaimer right now. All viewers, please keep your hands above the table till the show is over. I will be changing avatars, so don't get any weird ideas.
But here's the thing: it's like I didn't get into the She-Hulk comic because her character just didn't appeal to me.
Look at that! It's does that look like even like a she? It doesn't even look like a she. It looks like Abby and the Lucky Charms guy had sex. That's pretty much what it looks like.
It looks like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah. Hulk smash watermelon. I can't do this anymore. There we go. That's much better.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, that's way better. God, it's beside me now. Holy. How are you today? I'm busy today.
Yeah, I'm doing good. My work day is over. I had a cursory look through my Vision and the Scarlet Witch comic from the 80s, and it is so much fun looking through there. I freaking love it. It's great. It's great.
It's gonna be great.
It's cool. So I finally found a reason why. I'm like, why are they, of all places, why is Wanda in freaking Jersey? Well, comment.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Now he's half the battle. But yeah, it's only, is it Tuesday? It doesn't feel like Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, because usually we do our shows on a Friday and the recordings on a Saturday and run the recorded show on a Tuesday. But because our guest
is impatient,
to accommodate, our get impatient. We just let him sleep in a bit longer.
But before we do that, you also heard that I think it was March 2nd, we get the season 7 of The Flash, which is titled Resting Bitch Face of Iris West. Yes.
I don't even watch that show. But I've heard the name Iris West and much sighing and gnashing of teeth when mentioned.
It was good, and then when it started changing, and you remember the DC fandom, right, where they were doing the interviews, and everyone was very happy talking about the series, and then it would come on to Iris West, that actress, and it looked like she was like, this show was not supposed to be about me, more camera on me. She had that face I'm in the show, but I'm not happy. But let's go on that. But I'm excited.
Please. Hey, Roger Haynes, thank you so much for the Canadian $1.99 super sticker. I believe it's a thumbs up. Am I correct with that?
I hope it's a thumb.
I hope so. Well, you know what? Let's bring up our guest and then we can introduce our chat. So, folks, for the third time, we have Hollywood Insider and screenwriter Kamran Pasha with us today. How are you doing?
I'm well, and this is a thumbs up.
All right.
This is good.
All right.
Hey, are you sure? Because if it wasn't, I would ask for flowers and candy first.
This is a safe for work channel, right, Lorena?
Yeah.
I was being polite. I said flowers and candy. Wasn't that I was asking for like a burger and some Crisco? That's weird.
Dating LA. Thank you for having me back on. I always love being on your channel, and
No
you've
problem.
got a great crowd, and I've been watching the chat. You got a great crowd in the chat, and it's gonna be fun today.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're on with us.
So wait, you got an R2D2 mug? This is my Dracula mug. This is my Vlad Tepes mug.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I had a great one that I got in Romania. I did a whole like 2-week tour of Romania. Went to all of like actual Vlad Tepes's castles and torture sites and whatever, and bought a lot of Dracula mugs. And so here's one.
They must have some of the best cheesy tourist items.
Oh, sure.
No, that mug is sick though. Can I just see the front of it again? Because that's
Vlad Tepes, all red.
Yeah,
I love
Vlad
that
Dracula.
art.
That's Bram Stoker feels for me when I see that kind of work. Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
nice.
But the thing is, when you're actually in Romania, and I hope you all get to go, it's a beautiful country. You can see why it inspires all these ghost stories and vampire stories. It's literally like a horror movie. These beautiful, beautiful mountains covered in mist all the time, and there's like dark shadows and dark forests. There's like, okay, this is like a gothic setting. The whole country.
I'd love to go because Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one with Gary Oldman, I love the photography in that. It's just amazing. And the book is cool too.
Well, what's amazing about the book is that aside from the fact it became iconic immediately and has become an iconic part of human civilization, right? It's strange. It's not a linear book. It's a bunch of journals and diary entries. That's pretty risky in the 19th century. It's risky today to tell an entire story as these non-linear chunks of different characters' diaries.
Well,
that is freaking awesome.
That Bram Stoker.
Did you guys ever get into like the whole vampire books, like the Anne Rice stuff ever? Did you get any of the Anne Rice books ever, like Memnoch and Lestat?
No, I watched the movie. I thought it was an interesting movie. I didn't really get into the books.
You would probably like them. You guys would probably get a kick out of Memnoch and Lestat. Those are two good ones. I started them and then I couldn't finish reading them. It was just like, all right, this is really good.
Cool. Well, I'll have to do that. I didn't read the Anne Rice book, but the last Anne Rice movie I saw was a miniseries. It was called The Feast of All Saints, and it was around Creole culture and gender culture. It was really good. She wanted to do something slightly different than Interview with the Vampire, had the same feel. But I told someone, I said, if you ever want to get the history of like what my family would have been like in the late 1700s, early 1800s in New Orleans, watch The Feast of All Saints. Okay. It's cinematography is gorgeous. Well, hello, we're going to welcome our cool chat. We have 24 people watching, and our guest is Kamran Pasha. And yes, it is a live after school special. So hello, Michelle Jolin. He says, hello, Reina Creole. And we have Wookiee Supremacy, who says, I'm going to try and make it on time, but I've got detention that I've got to ditch first. So it might be a couple minutes late. No worry, Wookiee. No worries, Wookiee. And we have Darius Munchausen, who has a smiley face there. And Accidental Tourist. Hello, Accidental Tourist. And thank you for being a member of my channel. Says school's out. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, I'm glad you like my lighting. I've been fussing with this lighting for like weeks. So
I would like to.
You guys like it?
Sorry. I just wanted to quickly say, yes, Justin Proper, I have ruined Lucky Charms for you. Have a nice Tuesday.
Hey, Justin, how you doing? Made it home on ain't got nothing on me. No, we can't assume She-Hulk's gender or pronouns.
Yes, we can. No, what the F and damn.
Hey, Shadzar, Steven, only the Reina and the D&D puppet chick have enough large endowments to satisfy me. I mean, wait, what? Yeah, I saw the D&D puppet chick. Apparently, they got mad that she had boobs. I'm like, did y'all miss Miss Piggy in the Muppet Show?
I'm convinced that many of the pathologies about sexuality and gender in this current environment is due to lack of breastfeeding. I think that sort of left our culture in some ways, and I think there's some weirdo pathologies about it.
I think so.
So
I would have to agree with that.
Tip a coin to your breastfeeder.
Hey, Hey, Commander Ed Stracker Shadow, and thank you for being a channel member. Lorena, She-Hulk smash female athlete patriarchy.
Oh my God. It's She-Hunk. She-Hunk.
Oh, no, it's ma'am.
It's not. I don't work at GameStop. Hey, damn it. It's ma'am.
Hey, Timon FLP, Timon Flip. I guess it's good afternoon, and good afternoon to you. And we have Kai MFS says, hey, everyone. Kai, so glad you're here. We have L Punk Tress, who's here. Thank you for being a channel member. It says, hey, Kamran, Reina Creole, and Steve. And hey, the John Beck, you have a great crowd equals you like me. Yes, we love Cameron on this channel. We love
Honestly,
Cameron on this channel.
When Cameron starts talking and he just goes on the topics, whatever it is, it's like you're drinking a Red Bull without having to drink a Red Bull because he's very pleasant. He's able to pass the energy through the screen. And, you know, that's a good attribute to have.
I will take it. That's the nicest way to say it.
If you grow wings, though, I'm out. I am so out.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Kim Ellis. I love this one. That's why I had to highlight it. I said she ma'am. Almost Lord,
my God.
almost snorted.
He-man.
Almost snorted. Hey, Kip Ellis is evening. And we have Geektropoly is here with us. Glad to see you. And here's someone I haven't seen in a long time. Jedi Bunny. Hello, my dear. She says, Lorena Creole, beautiful as always. So thank you. New to your channel. You're so well spoken with such a magnetic personality. Love hearing your take on things. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. I know a lot of people will remark that, you know, they say I'm very well spoken. And it's interesting because between my grandmother and my mother, because my grandmother grew up poor in Florida, as did my mother. And my grandmother, while she was a very, very stately lady, she always felt embarrassed because she didn't complete school. So her speech was not as refined, so to speak. So she was always on me about speaking properly. She's like, we're not going to have speaking ignorant in this house. I'm like, well, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. All right. I can't talk like you, but she was very adamant that her children and her grandchildren were going to speak properly. Yeah. So I have her to thank for that, actually.
Well, without communication, especially proper communication, you're going to lose a lot more people to misunderstanding than getting your words across in the delivered function you wanted. So it's a good lesson to learn.
Well, we're in a generation right now where words have no meaning.
Yeah.
And part of that, because, you know, I am of the what they would call a conspiratorial bent, part of the agenda behind that is to take away our ability to communicate with each other, which is a way to control people. Because if words have no meaning and if words can shift to the opposite meaning of what they have, then you are unable to relate your inner experience to another human being. And then you have to just take what society tells you to fill the void.
I agree, because without experience, you can't share a story. But if the story is muted, then there's no experience to relate, so another person can understand a point of view. It's like not being including of everyone's experiences, but dividing them and saying which one is more proper than the other. And that's not a way any society or race should work with.
Yeah.
But also, when you have a generation with very limited educational opportunities, and then they're ostracized in society because of that.
Yeah.
A lot of them are very adamant that their children and grandchildren, but like it or not, a lot of people are judged on the way that they do speak. Like I tell people, just because somebody has a thick Southern accent does not mean that they're stupid. It really doesn't.
Our friend Mandy Summers has proven this. I've been on her channel a couple of times.
I think she's watching.
Mandy sounds just like a lot of my cousins do. And I have met some smart professors from like University of Florida that talk like she does.
Well, you know, as we guys say, that Southern accent sounds sexy on a woman and sounds stupid on a guy. If all accents sound sexy on a woman and sound stupid on a guy.
Why does it remind me of designer women for some reason? When they went to Japan and like, we love the Southern bells and your accent.
I really need Mandy to record going, this is Fat Steven, and I want to put it over that little red glowing video I use sometimes. Just be like, what? That is for science.
Hey, Shinji. Says L Punk Trace, Underworld is great. I have not seen Underworld yet.
The original Underworld with the original movie? It's actually
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things about it.
Tight leather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that too.
Vampires.
Yeah,
I mean,
vampires, werewolves. It's vampires versus werewolves, but in a better way than Twilight, right? I mean, it's actually well done. So,
Twilight, I'm just like, man, just knock me out. I can't deal with that. Hey, Stephen Yarnell. Vampires are supposed to be like Bram Stoker's Dracula, like Gary Oldman, not sparky and emo crap. Hey, Stephen Yarnell. I'm like,
well, here's an interesting thing I learned when I was in Romania, because I actually met historians and scholars as well as having a great tour. In his lifetime, Vlad Tepes, people believed him to be a vampire in his lifetime because he did all the, aside from impaling hundreds of thousands of people, he did all kinds of blood rituals. And so there's contemporary accounts by German merchants writing that I think this guy is actually not human. I actually think he's some kind of strigoi is what they call. And so this legend of him being a vampire is not something Bram Stoker came up with. He followed a living tradition in the guy's lifetime.
That's awesome.
That even makes it even cooler. Hey, Tom, how you doing? He says, hey, kids. Hey, kids. And I think I have caught up with, let's see, hold this Southern charm or not. Nah, men with Southern accents are caught. I like that. I'll tune into it. Hey, Theme Park Casual, and thanks for being a channel member.
Every man with a Southern accent sounds like he's in. What was that movie with
Deliverance?
Deliverance, thank you. Yeah, they all sound like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Y'all want to go play some banjo? You got a perfect mouth down there, there, boy. Yeah.
The further you get away from the major cities in Florida, yeah, it's just like, ooh, man. Yeah, I'm starting to hear Durham banjos. Hey, Theme Park Casual, Cameron speaks the truth. Gender makes a difference for accents. Yeah, I got you. Got
a pretty mouth there, boy.
Valiant Renegade, thank you so much for being here. LOL, I'm from New Orleans and everyone thinks we talk like we're from Savannah, Georgia, thanks to the stupid movies. Yes.
So this is what I'm learning. There is accent snobbery in the South like there is in Britain.
Yes.
Right? Because everyone is like, if you come from this town, they all know your accent and you're low class, right? And I'm like, whatever.
There's the refined Southern accent. There's the hardly any Southern accent because you're metropolitan, and that's a really thick Southern accent where you can't tell if it's English or not.
That's true. When I've been to Atlanta a couple of times, I noticed the accent is not very prominent in Atlanta. But then I drove to North Carolina on a project, and I was like, wow, this is the South. They talk like the South. Yeah.
It's so thick that even their speaking spells have the same accent. So every time you're typing out letters, it's like, hey.
I just know every time I go to my aunt's little podunk town in the middle of Florida, as soon as I start talking, people are like, you're not from around here, are you? I'm like, what was your first guess?
Hi, Amber.
And it was actually Mandy. I think with Mandy. Someone said on whatever cast I was on with Mandy that the Southern accent. I was wondering how did that accent evolve different from the North? Because these are all essentially British colonists, right? Showing up here. So how did in a couple of 100 years, even 150 years, how did it evolve into this? And someone was saying it's actually closer to the Southern accent is closer to the working class accent of Britain at the time, and
yes.
So it was the Northerners that created a new accent.
They did, because in the North, that was the what I want to say, like the ideal of education, especially New England, because they were snobby as heck. Even people from the South sent their children to be educated. There wasn't like a Clemson, there wasn't a Duke or anything.
We had
like
William
that.
and Mary, but that was like one school, yeah.
Yeah, so they would send all of them up north to be educated. So the North had a specific, accent. They wanted to be different. They wanted to be highbrow, so to speak, very posh. And then in the South, the accent is like totally different. And then it depends on regionally where you are as well. But yeah, I forget which study it did, but yeah, it's actually comparable to like working class Britain and the same accent. So it's interesting how they evolved. It's very interesting.
So we got a toxic male female avatar thing going on here. What's going on?
Cameron, my eyes are up here. What are you doing, bro? My eyes are up here.
I'm looking there, right? I'm short.
No, you're not. I can see it. Look, you just look down again. I just saw it again. I'm here.
Hey, Amber. I think I said, hey, Cavitania Che. And
I learned how to pronounce Tepes when I was there because, everyone, he's the national hero there. I was like, but dude, he killed like 1 million of your people. You're like, yeah, but then he by killing 1 million of our people, he scared the Turks and they didn't invade. I was like, okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. Justification. Don't forget the damn Yankee accent. Yeah, we were just talking about New England. Get a park your car. I'm like, what the heck are you saying? You're speaking English, but not quite really. If Einstein was from Kentucky, we never would have gotten his theory of relativity. No one would have taken him seriously. You know what?
Equals
Sadly,
MC
yes.
Ka.
Even upper class Southern families, it's just a twinge of a Southern accent, which sounds very cool.
I love the Southern accent in all of its permutations. It is the last remnant of actual culture in America, of some kind of identity, because all identity is being wiped out in this country.
It really is. Hey, Nihang, thank you for coming. I think I've seen you before. Very true. UK accent snobbery is bad. I speak with a Cockney accent and people assume I'm a hooligan.
Well, speaking of accent, somebody wrote, can you imagine Shakespeare with a Southern accent? I think Stephen Yarnell wrote that. And if you think about it, we whenever you have, I work in Hollywood, all the movies and TV shows of Rome, they always have the Roman, Julius Caesar always has this very profound British accent. I'm like, dude, these guys were Italian. Why are they never talking like Mamma Mia? I mean, that's how these guys, the Italian accent is evolved from the Roman accent, right? So...
Hey, Jedi Bunny. Yes, education in class does not impart wisdom. That must come from within. Absolutely, because I've seen a lot of educated and high class people do some stupid ass things.
The thing is, the education, the education that's out now compared to, let's say, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, a lot of the stuff people go for, let's say for their masters or their degrees, I don't think it's actually an education. It's something they pulled out of the universe of bedknobs and broomsticks because it makes no sense and it's all magical to fit their needs. And it's literally one of those contributors to the way things are, as you said, being destroyed.
It's indoctrination, and depending on which area you're in, because there's this book that I still have to read by Charles Percy Snow called The Two Cultures.
Okay.
There's the artsy fartsy culture, yes, I will call it that. That's more in tune with feelings. And then there's a logical engineering culture, engineering and science, the hard sciences. It's not about what I can feel, it's about what I can prove. And it's talking about this clash between the two. And it's much easier to infiltrate the one about feelings, because that's kind of like subjective, as opposed to engineering, which is about logic, facts, science. Either you can prove it, or if you can't prove it, it doesn't.
Well, the thing is, you need both. You need both in the human being.
Yes.
You need both sides of brain balance, and you need it in the culture. And our culture certainly has devolved to a place where logic is out and emotion is predominant, and that's not healthy. A world where logic is dominant and emotion is suppressed, I don't think is healthy either. I think it actually, what it does is it prevents innovation. Right. Logic, science is about managing what we know, or at least engineering is about managing what we know. And the creative, emotional side of us is where the quantum leaps happen. We're talking about Einstein, all this, all these great, people who advance science use their imagination. Einstein imagined how the theory of relativity would work. He imagined what it would be like if he daydreamed what it would be like if I was sitting on a beam of light and I held a flashlight in my hand. How would I be able to outrace it? And and the double helix that Watson Crick came up with came to him in a dream, right? So you need that creative, emotional side that advances us, but you need the structure of the logic to keep that within some kind of sane realm. Otherwise, you're in an insane realm, which is where our world is.
Can I ask a question relating to that? Is that kind of where applied sciences come from? If I'm going from a metaphor point of view, that it's an applied science because they're applying their dream, they're applying their vision to the science fact and to try to make it a reality within an actual community that can be proven. That's why you have a lot of theorists when it comes to quantum theory, nuclear theory, all that kind of stuff. So it's all, in a way, all of this stuff is based off a dream, but a dream can become reality if there's fact behind it.
Yeah, that's why you need to balance both sides of the brain. And, and I actually think that one of the reasons we've gotten there, whether it's the cause or the effect of where we are, is when manufacturing left the United States. That took away that logical, practical aspect of that built this entire civilization over 400 years, right?
Yeah.
And then all that was left was a service industry, which is about human relations, about, about your ability to read other people's emotions and all that other stuff. But if you don't have the manufacturing there, then you're going to be taken over by societies that have manufacturing, which is what has happened.
I got to laugh at what John Beck says. When I said New Englanders were sloppy as heck, he's like, quote, are. Yeah, that's actually true. So when I say were, because my New England ancestors, like again, pulled a Tom Brady, left at the end of the Civil War, brought all of his money and said, guess what? We're going to the South and we're going to be the bank and we're going to make money. So I just say like were, but I've been to New England and yes, what is that term? Masshole?
Yeah,
I didn't learn that term.
A very specific type of joke. No, I mean, look, I went to school. I went to school in New Hampshire, which is different from the other New England states because that's still, at least until maybe the current events that have happened, had a rebel side of live free or die, right? Whereas Massachusetts was this, well, we founded the first university in America kind of crap, right? Whereas New Hampshire had the sense of like we're still the frontier. So we got a nice little comment here from Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, Mexican Iron Man. Thank you so much. Gracias for the $14.99 super chat. He says, 1 great guest, 2 great hosts, 3 great minds. Big fan of Kamran and just watched old Bionic Woman episodes. Methinks good ones written by Jedi Kamran. P.S. / stop making fun of us at Echo Base Network. LOL. Are you making fun of them, Kamran?
I don't know what the reference is to. I'm usually making fun of the woke. I don't tend to make fun of the people in the community. I don't know what the reference is. Mexican Iron Man, if you can put a little thing what the reference is in the chat, I don't know what I'm making or which of us is making fun of you guys. I don't know what's about.
They're emotionally frozen. It's okay. They're on Hoth. Don't worry about it. It's all on Hoth.
We need Tontex New Englanders start their vehicles with their khakis.
Do your naughty way.
Oh, hey, Script Doctor. So glad you're here. Let's see. Shakespeare has never been performed in the proper accent since its debut. I can kind of.
I would love to redub some Shakespeare stuff that's been done, but redub it with like kung fu movies, and then put what the actual subtitles for the Shakespeare movie is, and just throw everyone off.
Lots of educated people write for Lucasfilm, Storybrooke, and Marvel Comics. So funny you should mention that. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Unfortunately, I got just 1 more hour here, so we should probably jump into the practical.
Yeah,
so I got to hop in an hour. So
yeah, because I kind of want to. I actually want to get Cameron out of here a little under time. So thanks for all you folks who popped in. So one of the reasons that I brought Cameron on the show, besides the fact that he said, hey, I'm going to come on the show.
Sexy.
I actually wanted to talk to him about just this epidemic to me of quote unquote diversity. What's going on in Hollywood?
Quote unquote,
quote unquote diversity. Because for folks who follow me on my channel, and I know you know this. Okay, I went through the pain of watching episode 1 of season 2 of Black Woman.
Oh God.
And was insulted through the whole freaking thing. And if you thought that was bad enough, how the heck does this wind up getting a 3rd season?
Did you not see the post yesterday? There actually from the 2nd season that came out, by the 1st episode, there was a lot of rivers that were also offended because of her being down by the river. A lot of people didn't like it. They said they don't need her by the river. It was bad. It was so bad. This whole goddamn show was bad.
This show
oh my God.
Is such a freaking insult. I'm like between painting, Ryan Wilder as a freaking victim, between them trying to rip off that scene from the Joker where he's talking to his caseworker. They tried to do the same thing and it fails freaking miserably to the point where they just basically emasculate Luke Fox. Now, granted, I didn't read the comic books, but he was just the most non-threatening, clueless Black man in here. And I'm like, something's not right about this. And people who read the comics were like, yeah, he's a badass in the comics.
Well, can I actually comment on this? Because I actually had.
Please do.
I've worked on the CW a few times, right? I don't know if I'm ever going to be asked back after my comments on shows like this, but whatever. But I've worked on the CW. I know it well. I've worked on it 3 times. And, I actually had this conversation on one of the CW shows I worked with before. I won't reveal which one, but I've worked on 3, so it's one of those 3, right? And I had a conversation with a white producer who was sort of very woke, and I said to him, I said, you do understand that the way that our industry doesn't like to show strong Black men, right? It's very threatened by that. He got really very tense when I said it, and I said they prefer all Black men to be Urkels, Remember Urkel from that
Steve Urkel.
Steve Urkel, right? Weak, sort of geeky, nerdy, because Black men are seen as very masculine, and that's very threatening to the current narrative about masculinity being toxic. At the same time, you've got to promote diversity, so you have to have a Black man there, but you cannot have, and I said it's not just on screen. I said this to the producer. I said, it's not just on screen, it's how we hire, because that's where the conversation came up. I said, we are turning down, because we're always looking for our diversity candidates, right? On the show, right? I said, we're turning down writers and assistants who are confident Black men who dress like Malcolm X, right? Who look like dignified and strong and have a deep voice. So we don't hire them. We only hire very weak and effeminate Black men. Why is that? He got really, really angry and upset, but I was dealing with stuff on the show. I was like, there's a lot of racism on the show. We got to face it. They're like, what are you talking about? We are liberal. We voted for Hillary. You can't tell us race. I'm like, look, I'm a producer on the show, and I'm brown, and I'm Muslim, and I'm telling you, we got some real issues here that we have to face. And then I went off on this thing, and he got really, really, really uncomfortable and angry because I revealed the truth, which is the strong Black man is an absolute threat to the white liberal structure, which is exactly what Malcolm X said it would be.
But absolutely. Oh, hold on 1 second. I just want to get this.
Yes.
Super chat from a Valiant Renegade. Thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate it. Was trying to cut a video on how we need more toxic femininity, and you have to bring on Kamran. LOL. Now I have to watch. Caught you on Doomcock. Well, glad you're here. Thank you.
See, I can agree with you on that, but I also remember because I watched a lot of Family Matters, and eventually Urkel developed this serum and the machine that transformed him into Stefan, right?
That's right. He was cool and sexy.
Yeah, but it came to the point in the series where he actually he divided the personalities into two different Urkels. You had Stefan and Steven. So both, what was it? Was it Mira? What was the one that loved Urkel?
I don't remember. I remember Stefan didn't realize he was
but eventually he was able to make both personalities two living beings, so both could be happy. So you still had a strong and a nerdy on the set at the same time, even though he had to play both characters. So why was that considered a threat even back then, or is it more prominent now that those types of shows, especially with that type of scenario, wouldn't be relevant because it goes against what you has said is the white liberal construct that's been going on?
I referenced Malcolm X. He said this in 1961.
Yeah.
Right? So this is, he saw that happening there when exactly the civil rights movement was being taken over by the New York Times, right? And he saw, and he was being portrayed as the villain. Like if you ever read the actual obituary for the day after Malcolm X was assassinated, the New York Times obituary, it's horrific. The New York Times basically called him a villain in his obituary, and his obituary is like, he's a man who could have been great but chose the path of evil. I mean, you're like, what are you talking about? But that because he was criticizing them. So this was there was always the threat. It's been there. It's and Lorena could talk about it. This goes back to the old way of how even the people that said let's free the slaves were all about let's free the slaves so they can work as in my factory, right? And not right?
You'll never make enough money to pay off your mortgage. You will never make enough money to feed your family. You'll never make enough money to pay off the landlord, considering that you have to buy all your seed, supply, tools, everything from the landlord's store. It's like it went from slavery owning people to now you're bound to the land like a serf. So it's a different type of thing. But also speaking about family members around that time, you'll see shows where fathers, where there was still that kind of strength there, but it was more like non-threatening. Like, for example, there's a big difference between James Evans in Good Times and the father on Family Matters. Both strong Black men, but you will notice that edge is not there. And there's a difference between the sitcoms from the 70s blending into the 80s, and then how Black men were treated as the leads in sitcoms from the 80s.
Well, I would suggest Bill Cosby was the catalyst, right? And
yes.
The man is proven to be more complex than we understood him to be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so that's what happened. So, yes, Shadzar says, I thought Lucius Fox was that way because of STEM and like a Q form of James Bond. And he's supposed to be that way. But at the same time, you can have someone who's basically like Q.
Yeah, but look at Morgan Freeman's character.
And this is what I'm saying. Morgan Freeman's character was exactly how he should be. I didn't see he wasn't emasculated. He didn't come off like he was oozing soy. That's why I called Luke Fox Soy Lucius in Batwoman, because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't see how they're the same type of person, because Luke Fox in Batwoman, he's very insecure about who he is. He always seems to be kowtowing down to Kate, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know. That's not what I see happening. I don't. Lucius Fox wouldn't act like that.
Well, you bring up Morgan Freeman, and he was so wonderful in that role, where he basically he doesn't take crap from Batman. And when Batman offers him essentially this device, it's going to allow him to control all information, right? He doesn't want it. And one of my favorite moments is when that guy in the company, Wayne Enterprises, figured out that that Bruce Wayne was Batman, and he was going to blackmail him. And he's like, so you think, he's like very calm and right. So you think your boss is a multi-billionaire who spends his nights beating up criminals, and you think you're going to blackmail that guy? And he was the guy totally in charge and the one protecting the entire enterprise. There was no sense of weakness there. He took a threat and quashed it.
See, another favorite part of mine was also like when you were bringing up the device, the sonar that had linked everyone's cell phones in Gotham. He still respected Bruce Wayne, but when it came to the Batman persona, he literally said, if you give this to me, you better expect my resignation after this one time, because I'm only going to use this one time. This is an instrument of evil, no matter how much good it is used for. And then he told him what the code was to self-destruct it after it's done, because Bruce already thought ahead. So these guys fed off each other in such a way. It was like having an Alfred at home and an Alfred at work. And Morgan Freeman played that character so well. And then we get the guy who belongs as a guidance counselor for Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, remember the guy with the rainbow and the guitars? Pretty much the same personality.
Same guy.
So, Vigilante Williams, I like what you're saying.
I remember that. Because I was like, wow, they're finally going to get out the ghetto. Their dad's, down in Mississippi, they're making money because he wanted to get his family out of there. I said, it's finally going to happen. And when they killed him off, that was when I stopped watching Good Times.
Yeah, the show became Bad Times. Then it's a sad show. You don't want to watch the show anymore.
No, it's just like, no, you don't. But yeah, they did. Haley John Beck, the last strong black male character on TV, Bernie Mac. I missed Bernie Mac.
He's a good actor, and he was a good show. I don't know if he was he really a strong? He was definitely opinionated.
He was very opinionated. I think because it was a comedy, it was a bit different. Good Times was a comedy, but a drama set against a social background. So I would still think, he was definitely a strong black male character. He was, because he was raising, his nieces and nephews, because, his sister was on drugs, and he was like, don't feel bad. A lot of y'all people got family problems too. So I don't think he was the last one. I think he was one of the ones on the way out.
So Blackish wouldn't count as a strong black character, or would it be kind of varied because they're basing it more on humor and trope than they are actual building of the family?
I have my issues with Blackish, because it's very agenda driven.
Yes,
and that's what it's not, because like if you go back and like to say you look at the Jeffersons and you look at Good Times, it's against a social background, and they're more concerned. I mean, there's racism going on that they're dealing with, but they're not demonizing white people as they do that. They're not pushing an agenda as they do that. They're trying to make their way through the world and make things better, for their family. So I've watched 1 or 2 episodes of Blackish. It's fun, laugh at and everything, but it is very agenda driven.
Well, what do you think about Black Lightning? Because that is a show, I know the show
canceled it.
Show, at the 4th season, I think they just started airing it, I think last night. Black Lightning, I love that. And the reason why I didn't watch the show, but I went to a convention where they had the entire cast and crew that was there, and they were talking about, we want to tell our stories. We want to tell our stories with our perspective. And from what I saw, it was good. They came up with their own lore from the ground up. They didn't, race swap characters for points.
And it's a unified black family. One of the things CW is doing is it always has to be interracial dating, right? And black screenwriters have said to me, why can't a black character date a black character?
Yeah.
I don't know, but But Luke Cage, I'm going to go into the Netflix series. Luke Cage, I'm sorry, the character was great. The writing might have sucked, but he was still a strong character for the scenes he had. If we also want to go in the way Smith Self brought up, Ben Sisko, DS9, very great, strong black character. One of my favorite. He is one of those captains, aka commanders before captains, that is in a show that deserves a lot more respect than people give it because it was so good. I love DS9 over all of them. And you can judge me for it, but I agree. It's so good.
Well, I want to share this with you. I actually worked with the creator of Deep Space Nine as my first job. I worked with Ira Stephen Bear, who created Deep Space Nine, right? I worked with him. He was my showrunner on Twilight Zone with Forrest Whitaker. That was my first job as a staff writer. To this day, Ira remains the best showrunner I have ever worked with, and I've worked with over half a dozen. But he was an old school guy. He was trained on Fame back in the early 80s, right? He was an old school classic guy, old Jewish writer from the Bronx, right? But he was from that traditional thing where he was just a great storyteller. And politically he wanted to make certain points in Deep Space Nine, but he knew how to do it in a way that was sophisticated. And it was important for him that that Sisko be such a powerful character. It's important that Sisko and his son have such a good relationship.
Yes.
And he even had Julian Bashir. There's the first Arab Muslim character that's there. They never even talk about that he's an Arab Muslim character, right? Sudanese. They didn't even talk about it, but he was just there. And that was Ira's way of getting, like Roddenberry, of progressing, a political point with good storytelling and great actors.
Exactly. And they're not using it as, and Kai said here, when I saw Blackish, I thought it looked like a token show, so I never watched it. You're not alone. I felt the same way. I felt exactly the same way. So
sorry, my apologies. I'm sorry.
No, so I didn't want to deal with that. Oh, thank you, Jedi Bunny.
The thing with Sisko, though, I'm going to add to this. That's why when the rumors started popping up that they're planning on bringing back like that crew and trying to do a spinoff of the DS9 series, that worried me to a point. Like, you're going to take Sisko, you're going to make him a weak person who probably got shot out of the wormhole, powerless, doesn't know who he is, and there's going to be a token farm fest of everyone telling him what he did was wrong, and they're still going to help him anyways. It's going to be another Picard scenario. That's what worried me.
If they bring Ira back, and I don't know that he would come back for that, but if he brings Ira back for that, I think you'll be okay, because he's just not a guy you can push over. I mean,
I don't think so.
He knows who he is. But would they bring him back? Because exactly for that reason.
If Kurtzman touches it, it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
So we hope you don't get it.
And Ira's the kind of person that would tell Kurtzman you're wrong to his face.
Can I want that in a recording so I can use it in a video every day?
I'm gonna get a phone call from Ira saying, "Hey man, what are you talking about me on the
I love you, Ira. I love you so
boss,
much.
I'm sorry, I love you. As I've said, you're the best show I've ever worked with.
I absolutely loved Deep Space Nine. One of my favorites. One of my favorite.
That documentary though was so good, and that it brought back so many memories.
Yeah, I gotta see that, because like I said, I had one of the best times I had in Star Trek fandom was on Deep Space Nine, running Avery's fan club and getting to meet the actors. It was awesome. So L Punk Trace, I just want to get to 2 comments. Jefferson Pierce of Black Lightning is a great character. I really do like him. In the trailer for the season 4, he said basically the effect to the effect of, my family is more important than me being a superhero.
So now I'm going to interject. I know the showrunner. I don't know them very well, but I've met them several times. I've been to their home. The showrunners, or the creators of the show, Salim and Mara Akil, right? They were with me, the only Muslims in town, until sort of the recent generation of a bunch of them came up. They're very religious Muslims. Like, I went to their house and there's like Islamic iconography everywhere. I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, like, even I don't have that kind of stuff. But they're very religious. But this is the thing: you don't know that they're Muslim from that show or from Girlfriends or any of the shows they do, because they keep their faith very private. But what Mara Keel once said, we were on a panel together, and she said that for me, faith is about excellence. That my relationship with God is about, I have to be the best, and I have to show my community how to be the best. So she's got that old Malcolm X, live up to your highest potential philosophy. That's how Black Lightning is formulated, from these people with that kind of moral character.
So they're basing their whole show and their characters on how a role model should be, and if they were in that place, how they should act, because they would want the same from themselves. Because you need not only a role model, but you need an escapism of a hero to look up to. So you're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone while maintaining the fantasy. And I can respect that. They need more shows like that.
And it comes off extremely well.
It does.
Extremely well. So speaking of the opposite of things done.
Oh, Jesus.
When Steven sent me this, sometimes there's things that are so stupid. You're just like, this, I got for getting punked, right? This is a joke, right? Apparently not. So they're going to let Steven take the lead on this one. So supposedly they're going to rename Black Adam as Shazam.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, if we're going to go into this, and I hate reading from Bleeding Cool because it makes me feel like a fool. It's going to be blah, blah, blah. Supposedly, this is coming from Bendis. Warner is putting together a Black Adam movie. We already know this if everyone remembers the DC fandom, that the 2-day event, there was like 9 hours each or so. We covered it on Loki's channel in the past. But they're planning on getting rid of the name Black Adam and replacing it with Shaz Adam or Shazadam. Or it's so stupid. It's so bad. It's like you're appropriating Shazam's name to cover up the fact that black might offend one person on the internet. It's horrible. What was going on? Black Adam is a Captain Marvel / Shazam villain created by Odo Binder and CC Beck in 1945, and has remained the main Shazam antagonist over the years. Originally a corrupted ancient Egyptian predecessor of Captain Marvel who fought his way through modern times to challenge the Marvel family. As I digress, he was recently recreated as a corrupted anti-hero attempting to clear his name and reputation, including taking over and ruling an entire country as a benevolent dictator of the nation of Kahndaq and a member of the Council of Immortals.
Yeah,
I hope I said that right.
Yeah, Mexican Iron Man. Our chat is just like Blackish Adam.
Oh yeah, Black
Adam. I thought pronounced Shazadam.
So wait, can we rename Black Lightning, start calling it White Lightning, and how would that gonna go over well? It's the same stupid thing. It's like
the problem
one
in
side,
Hollywood,
not the other.
We are literally tying our tongues into knots with this racial stuff. None of us writers know what the next thing is. Now POC is no longer acceptable. You know, person of color was the official thing I had to say. Now it's by POC, which is Black, Indian, people of color.
Oh, God damn it.
I mean, it keeps changing. I don't know what to say anymore.
No. If you're black, you're black. If you're Chinese, you're Chinese. If you're Japanese, you're Japanese. Who the hell cares? Like, I'm not gonna wear my Twitter profile on my shirt like a button, like the "I'm with stupid" shirt. I'm not gonna do that. Honestly, if you don't know and you get it wrong, you know what 90% of the time people do? They correct you if they actually care. What Bendis is doing here is it's not just disrespectful to the lore and the characters beforehand. Let's, like, if I want to go this in with the whole Luke Skywalker, Jake Skywalker thing, it's the same thing, but in a different way. And from what Bleeding Cool is saying is that I don't want to read this. It's making my eyes bleed.
Let me address Jedi Bonnie's comment really quick because it's very good. She said mainstream Hollywood's moving POC from token to leading roles, but they aren't being fleshed out as genuine human characters with complex layers of authenticity of experience, style over substance.
Yeah, that's because most of my colleagues are racist. And that's why a lot of them dislike me, because I'll call them out on it. Like the story I gave on the show that I was on the CW. They're all these white liberal. I voted for Obama. I voted for Biden. I voted for blah, blah, blah. And they're all deeply, deeply racist people who want to keep the minorities under their thumb. And I think it was Chris Rock that may have said this. It was Chris Rock, I think, that said he had had a meeting with Obama at some kind of Hollywood fundraiser early in his presidency, and he said to Obama, "Look at all these people you're looking at here in the fundraiser, all these people in the tuxedos, all these nice people." He said, "These are the nicest racists you're ever going to meet. They're all racist, and they don't know they're racists. They don't know. And they're shocked if you tell them."
Yeah, they're just like, "What? No, I'm not racist. I've always been good to you people. I'm not racist."
Yeah, to you people.
It's exactly what they'll say. Hey, Roger Haynes,
well,
color.
You know what they remind me of? There's an. Oh, I'm sorry. The color, isn't that a term for color? Yeah, we've gone backwards. You've colored.
Yeah, it is like having my grandparents and my great uncles slip and say that. It's kind of like, but we know the era that they're from, so it's one of those words that, since they were raised in the Jim Crow era, they tend to use it not as frequently as they did in the past, but it still comes up. And every time they say it, we're just kind of like, yeah, okay. And they kind of correct themselves. We just keep going. So sometimes,
but you're right. But look, we're back to it now with people of color. I've not thought of that. We're now by people of color, right? But we're back to it. But I just wanted to go back for 1 second on the idea of the deep racism of the white person that thinks I've always been nice to
on it.
you people,
Mhm.
right? There's an incredible moment in an incredible movie, Malcolm X, which is one of my favorite movies. Spike Lee. There's an incredible moment of Malcolm remembering his childhood, right? When he's a boy in elementary school, and he's got this teacher that seems like a very sweet white teacher who's congratulating him, making him feel good, whatever. And then Malcolm comes up to him and he's written an essay, and he must be like 8 years old, would have written an essay about how he's going to be a lawyer when he grows up. And this very sweet liberal teacher who's been, oh, you're so great, says to him, oh, you can't be a lawyer. That's not for people like you. But you can be a handyman. In fact, I'll hire you to come in and do handiwork in my house. Isn't that nice? And you see the little boy Malcolm, a tear comes down his face, and his dreams are being taken away by this white liberal who he trusted.
And then he brings religion into it. And he says, carpenter is a good profession. Jesus was a carpenter. I'm just like, but that's exactly what it is.
Well, that's how Nation of Islam was able, whatever it was, Nation of Islam, whatever it was a movement that had to actually be distinct from Christianity because Christianity had been co-opted by people using it as a racialist movement at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And so to have some kind of critique of that, they had to get away from it. And then he returned to mainstream Islam, but there's a journey there.
Yeah.
See, what's also kind of messed up is when this came out, this rumor came out, a lot of other sites were like, no, this isn't happening. And Bandits even wrote on thing that rumors are stupid. But I did some background searching, especially on Reddit, and there's like two things I want to read quickly. This is from 3 days ago when and this was like 4 days ago when the whole Shazam started, right? Supposedly they're not going to change the Black Adam's movie's name, so that's going to stay the same. So Rock is still going to be Black Adam, but it's going to be a mad few days on Bleeding Cool. What they're saying is by March, they are going to be changing the comic book Black Adam to Shazam. So, and they're doing this, I believe, with Infinite Frontier #0. And I guess this is a test, and it's going to fail.
Yeah, they'll get the response. I already know what the response is. But people aren't going to buy the comic. But Cameron, and I'm going to ask both of you guys in general, maybe in the chat, do you guys think they're just doing this as A, they're trying to destroy a property so they no longer have to produce a comic book so they can save money? B, they're doing this just as they're at the point where, like, I don't care what type of publicity I get. I'm going to do this just to get people talking about it, whether it's true or not. I think they've lost the mentality. Reason. Yeah, I think they've lost them. There's a third reason. They're stupid? No. They are stupid by our judgment of it. But the third reason is it's the same problem with all of Hollywood. This is a form of media. So it is. The third reason is you're not actually. The people making the decisions are not actually trying to make money. They're just trying to fit into the cocktail party and advance their career with the right people that they've put the political narrative out. They're completely okay with tanking the property as long as they are approved by the cabal of elites who are racist like themselves. And so that's they're fine with it failing, but they'll be accepted in the group now, and their next gig will be better.
Okay. You know what? Sorry, I mean, interrupted. Mexican Iron Man, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. No Black Lightning, but I got all these comics in my box right here. Fine then. When do we get Brown Neutron or a Shazam Mexican or Brown Lightning? Didn't we have Brown Lantern?
We did, but he's still making tortillas.
Shoot. All right.
But the thing, just in general, it's like you're saying about the whole trying to fit in thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm at the point now where I want to make an indie project. I want to make a comic book. But you know what it is? It's everyone at that cocktail party trying to fit in. And I just want to see all the stupidest heroes they can relate in one cocktail. Make it a movie post. Make it a puzzle. You know what I mean, though? Because I don't understand how you can drink, be in this rich crowd or whatever kind of elitist crowd it is. And the only thing you can think of is, let's get rid of the Black in Black Adam's name. Let's just do that. Or let's make Batwoman black to the point where we change the Batcave mannequin from a white mannequin to a black mannequin, because everyone's looking at the mannequin. And give her an ugly costume that isn't as nice as the costume that the white woman has. Exactly. I know, she's a beautiful woman. Absolutely. She is literally a beautiful woman in real life. And they gave her the Value Village Batwoman costume.
And they have her just like find it. Like, it's like out there somewhere. And she just
there's no effort made. There's no character development in becoming this person.
Exactly.
And it's now
a big problem.
I'm so sorry. It's also fading in now to, like, when we get into our next topic, it's fading into like the USA agent costume. I'm gonna bring this ahead of time. Mm-hmm. If anyone who's watched that Falcon, Winter Soldier, Bad Boys 2 wannabe, USA Agent's costume, that's not Captain America, that's USA Agent, looks like he robbed a Value Village Santa Claus and stitched together a costume for Halloween. It's that bad. It is
And,
that bad.
and there's no reason these costumes have to look bad because we've had and we've talked about, and again, this is a family-friendly channel, but we've had the porn versions of these that have been done, and the costumes look great.
Yeah,
We've had the director come on some of these channels talk about how he loves these comics, right? Like Captain Marvel XXX. The costumes look great because he cares.
Yeah. It's so bad. And oh my God. Like look at WandaVision, for example. Not only did they go through decades of different costumes and styles and even the clothing and every scene right, they did it well. And then you look at this and it's like, you guys have no idea what you're doing.
No, they know what they're doing. Maybe they don't know it consciously. Again, I'd say it's what Chris Rock said. These people are racist but don't know it. They're definitely motivated by an internal basis for why they're making choices, but they wouldn't be able to verbalize it.
Then I'm going to restate. They don't know what they're doing from a fan or a viewer or a consumer's point of view. That I'll rephrase myself.
What's actually satisfy those groups? Yes, they don't know what they're doing, but I don't think that's
Oh, Valiant Renegade. Oh, sorry, Kim.
Go ahead.
Valiant Renegade for $5. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. This is a business plan, spending political capital they've accumulated over the years. It's a low-risk loss leader to do it in comments. Video coming. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's certainly, I think that's a believable argument.
Absolutely.
And again, there's no reason for it to be a loss leader. It can be a profitable comic, but they're choosing through racist to make it a loss leader.
I mean, I don't see who they think that they're fooling. And to me, it's just like, you must think that.
Well, you're fooling the woke crowd. You're fooling the woke crowd. I mean, they're morons anyway, so they're going to be fooled by anything you say.
Look at the angry picture.
It's such an insult to intelligence. I look at this and I'm just like, okay, you're going to change The Rock now from this character from Black Adam so you're going to rip off of Shazam's name and you're just going to slap Adam on there. It's like,
they aren't doing this to the movie though. This is just for the comics, from what my understanding
is. Well, as of now,
who knows what can happen? But if I'm looking at this, especially as someone who doesn't look at the comics, who doesn't read DC Comics, I look at this and I think, oh yeah, they're doing it to the Black Adam movie.
Well, yeah, and you hit the pivotal thing, which is this is a ripoff of Shazam, which is the standard thing. They do not believe Black characters can have their own strength to stand on their own without somehow being linked to a white character. But this is a long-standing, successful Black character, so there's no logic to it beyond racism.
Exactly.
And speaking of successful Black characters, let's see.
Oh, please don't do this to me.
Samoan Adam. Well, that would fit because he is half Samoan, actually. The Rock is.
Yeah.
Comics are always a testing ground. Yeah. So for folks who let's see. Robert Anderson, did I miss the discussion of Marvel's new gay romantic comedy, Falcon and Bucky? I'm looking forward to some Black on Bucky action. Dude, you just showed up just in time.
Honestly, the first thing from this trailer, I want everyone to be introduced to the Winter Soldier's new lesbian haircut, also known as Julie.
You know what? When I saw this trailer, I've never been so freaking pissed off and frustrated with the trailer. And I've never had that reaction before. Usually it's fun breaking it down, making fun of it, looking at the good parts and generally reviewing it and say, yeah, the trailer makes me want to watch the show. Yeah. Not this one. Not this one. And we need to stop and start through
let's play this thing.
What's messed up is when I saw this trailer, I had a weird feeling and urge to watch Bad Boys 2.
All right.
You know what? Whoever said this, I'm sorry.
Marriage counselor?
Yeah, this is a marriage counselor, right? You know what? That's exactly what I said in my video when I did this. This doesn't look like they're, the typical scene in a cop show where the captain comes in and he's about to chew these guys out. You do not get that vibe.
Well, you get it from their body language. They both look like an unhappy couple.
Yes.
It's not even just that though. Like, okay, they lost a lot of people. Cap is now old. If this is after the whole events of like the end game, Bucky pretty much has lost his best friend, the friend of ages, right? Do you think he'd be in a little bit more of a tormented state because of what Cap chose and the legacy left behind that either of them have to feel? Every hero has to feel. Do you get that feeling in this show at all?
No.
But they use imagery of it
right from the outset. They're trying to be like Lethal Weapon. Yes, Soul Assassin. Yes, they are.
But they don't know how lethal weapon worked.
They don't.
Damon Wayne,
and I think, and I know that's the thing that irritated me the most, because when you get this callback kind of feel and they're not being genuine to it, it's just like, forget it. You guys are just screwing.
I hate his haircut.
It's better.
All right, we got flame.
Why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan?
Why does he aggravate you? Is that the question?
Yeah, that was the question. It's like watching what was it, Grumpy Old Men, but with superheroes.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe. You said it perfectly.
It is. It's like Walter. I can't remember the other guy's name, but it's like Walter Matthau is Falcon.
Yeah.
Who was it? John Levitt? No, John. Was it John Levitt? That was the his croquette.
It wasn't Don Amici, was it? I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know the movie you're talking about. Yeah, it's like you get on my nerves. Wait. Jack Lemmon. Okay.
Jack, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it put the toilet seat down. That's like the vibe that you get.
It's like pull your bottom lip over your head and swallow. Do the world a favor.
God, it's just odd couple, and not even in a good way. It's just, but that could be funny. Grumpy old heroes. You know what, Roman? It could be, but it's just like, I just don't.
Yeah, but it's not these characters that have had their own independent life to get here. It's an example of jumping forward to places that you don't believe the characters have gone to, which is why Cobra Kai works, because you believe the characters are exactly where they are in their lives. 30 years later, that's where they would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a side story of like they had a falling out, but they're being forced to be together. I'm
and
sorry.
You don't know what that's about.
No. Because
most of it's in an airplane.
Idea. Yeah, it's just. Oh,
is there love? Did they like elope to an airplane or something? Am I missing something? Is there a whole love shack in this airplane? Because I've seen more of this airplane in the whole trailer than anything else.
Oh, well, let me see. Let's keep going a little bit here.
Great.
So I have Falcon.
You got wings and a shield now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot be allowed to exist.
And this is the hand, I believe, in Baron Zemo.
No intention to leave my work.
So he was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
He is a returning villain, yes.
Okay, I haven't seen
Same guy
in a while. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Did anyone hear that? That's the sound of Hollywood scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No, they're not scraping the barrel. They're already digging a hole to the other side of the world right now. They're hitting the magma men going, what are you doing here?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Explosions.
Got some shady military dudes.
Yeah, see, this is the other thing that I don't like.
His facial expression doesn't match what he's supposed to be looking at the shield to represent. He's supposed to go like, this is a heavy burden, and he looks at Cap and he's looking at it going, I don't like this shield.
Yeah.
It's so unemotional.
It's just, yeah.
It's like, I don't want the burden. That's the vibe, right?
Yeah. I don't want it. And at the same time, it's kind of like, you shouldn't even have it to begin with.
Yeah. You better get some super soldier serum in you, buddy. That thing ain't easy.
Exactly.
To carry.
You know.
You're just a dude. You're just literally a dude who's got a suit that, you got no powers at all.
None whatsoever. So why do you have the shield? And again, why is it necessary for him to be Captain America 2.0? Why can't he just be Falcon?
Oh, no. Wait. Think about it. What if the whole trope of this series is the fact that the reason why they don't like each other is because Winter Soldier is resentful that he got the shield and not him, and they're going to make this a boo-hoo kind of thing.
That probably comes down to that. I think that's exactly what this is.
I so can't.
Bucky wanted the shield.
Hey, the Sentinel, I'm looking forward to this. I hope it works out good. I really do, because the trailer, I'm not feeling confident, because the trailer doesn't really make me want to watch. So I hope that they just freaking screwed up and did a bad job, but it just doesn't pull me.
Where do we start?
So he could throw it now?
No, he's learning to throw it. He doesn't. Okay, the shield was made for Captain America because he was a super soldier, right? So he was able to whip it with such force that it would actually do damage.
Yeah.
When Falcon throws it, he's trying to throw. There's no crying in baseball. That's pretty much how it is.
It's like, I mean, for him, it's like a frisbee. He doesn't have the kinetic ability to throw it.
Throw it with lethal force. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do we start?
Stereotypical party. Okay.
That view is so bad.
Here we go again, huh?
This is the actual marriage counselor right there.
Yeah.
Which one?
That blonde is the marriage counselor in any money. She's the actual one that's going to be trying to teach them both.
She'll be the one that helps them overcome their conflict and get it together, guys. Yeah.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I really can't.
You can.
And she's Peggy's niece, if I remember correctly.
That's what someone told me in the comments. Is this the
This is USA Agent. Yes. Look how bad this looks.
That is awful.
Even his butt is dumpy in that costume. It's like Batwoman made a costume for him.
Well, why does he have an hourglass figure?
That's Kurt Russell's son, actually.
Yeah, okay, well, all right.
Not that I'm excusing it, but look, the guy with the dancing has more like happiness in him. Look at him. He's like, yeah.
Well, you know what? My guess is, and I said this in the video, since they shot this in Georgia, this is most likely an HBCU. And for a HBCU, historically Black College University, it's not about the football team. It's about the marching band that puts on the show at halftime. Nobody cares about the football game.
Well, I agree. You can see the life in them too. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what you come to see, not the game. You come to see the
dancers in the back.
That is like that's the thing to be known for. But yes, we have all this going on. Is this where he pulls the shield now?
No, that's his wings are a shield. So why does he need Cap's shield? This is what bothered me in the whole trailer. If he can make his wings a shield, why does he have caps? Right then and there, this defeats the purpose of him having that shield. He could have given it to Bucky. One episode, you're done. This is what's bothering me. Sorry, let me just freak on this because it defeats the. You know what I mean? So he has two shields.
Setting it now like he was picked. I gave up years ago.
Oh God, it's a Planeteer ring. Oh God.
I just don't feel that Falcon earned that shield.
He didn't earn it. It was just given to him.
Yeah.
Which is, again, we're in this generation where everyone is expected to be given things rather than earning them. Earning them is seen as offensive.
See, the only other thing I can see from this is that he was given the shield for one reason. It was not to use it, but to realize that he doesn't need it to be a hero, and he will eventually give it to Bucky. This is the only other side of the fence I can see this series going with. But that's my hopeful that it's supposed to be the. Remember the hero conversation when we first met Cameron? How there's the hero. There's the not wanting to be a hero, and then the reluctant hero, and then there's the third one I can't remember. Maybe this is falling in one of those lines.
Well, but I don't think politically they can have the black man give up the power thing to the white dude. I don't think they're going to do that.
They're not.
I agree. This is my again on the other side of the fence, being hopeful.
They're not.
Yeah, because you're trying to tell a story, right? You're not putting race into it. You're trying to tell what would a character do to grow and become the. Yeah, but that's not what they're thinking.
Yeah,
it looks like he's trying to hold in a fart too. That's really weird.
Well, I was going to say you have a executive officer of diversity all the way up at the top, same levels like close to Chapek and for stuff like this. They're not gonna, it's not about story, it's about they got Clayton on top of here again.
Hello girl, kick your ass.
I do like the Wakanda arm though. I do like that.
I just didn't like the particular jab, and Robert
Well,
Anderson.
also their dynamic. Did they really interact with each other in the Avenger movies?
No.
This dynamic is like, I don't know what this dynamic is. Where did this come from? They have no past.
They're basing it off the comic. That's what I think they're trying to do, very loosely.
I haven't read it, and like most of the audience,
I haven't read it. So if you're telling me, if you're using the MCU, I haven't seen anything in the MCU to suggest that these two characters would have anything really to like do with each other? What friendship? What's going on? I haven't seen anything teed up that way. Maybe they'll explain it in the pilot, but
the only thing sexist about the Mary Sue, I'm going to say right now, is their articles, because they have to point out everything from a bias. And honestly, little girl, she's short. Big whoop. That article was so stupid.
Well, that's a Mary Sue for you, that digital fish trap. But I didn't think it was sexist. Just kind of like, did y'all really have to bring that up? It kind of seemed like a jab that I don't feel needed to be in the trailer. Save that for for the show. I think that was just payoff for the SJWs who want to hear that.
That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready?
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready?
So this is what we come to.
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
So they have to be scolded by a woman.
Mm-hmm. But why are they always falling back on this Marvel got to make everything comedic kind of thing? It's like they're trying to take like those one-liner comedy things that Star Wars used to do, and they're trying to incorporate it here with two characters that don't. If you don't know the comics or the niche, you're not going to be very fluent on how they actually interact. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but the promotional delivery, like I said to Amanda, is not doing so well for the hyping of this show. The promotional delivery is very off. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm not hearing any buzz about it, right? I mean, and not in the industry, and people aren't just talking about it. I mean, so, I will say I've worked with Sebastian Stan. He was, he was one of our leads on my show Kings, right? That I was a producer on, and even then, like that was 10 years ago. Even then, I was like, this guy's going to become huge. He's going to become a massive star. This is before he got the Bucky role, right? So he's a superb actor, and I'm delighted to see how far he's come. And I hope this works out for him. The funny thing is, a few years ago, I was pitching a TV project where I was like, I think we should get Sebastian to play the lead. I think we should go to his agent and get Sebastian to play the lead. And the producer I was working with was like, Sebastian Stan is, he's a big movie star right now. He's not going to do any TV. I'm like, doing TV. So, and now he's doing the same character that he's been doing now for 10 years. I'm sure he'd be looking for other stuff. So
what threw me off is I forgot he was actually in 8 Mile with Eminem until I rewatched it not too long ago. And I realized he was actually one of the rap battlers versus Eminem, if I remember correctly, which is really interesting.
Wow.
And to bring us full circle, Sebastian Stan is Romanian from Romania. He was born in Romania. And when I was working on the show, I was dating this lovely Romanian girl who I visited when I went to Romania recently. And she came into the set because I was like, I'm going to show off. I'm a producer on the show and bring my girl to the set, right? And Sebastian came up to her, and when he found out she was Romanian, he started talking to her in fluent Romanian, and she was absolutely in love. And I'm like, all right, Sebastian, get lost. You're handsome.
Oh, no, wrong. No, I meant Falcon, not Sebastian Stan. I got it backwards.
Okay.
I am totally got my head up my ass on that one. So I'm going to retake that comment because I'm definitely not awake.
Well, here's a comment from the Sentinel. I think they're pulling this frenemy thing from the natural charisma and chemistry the two have in real life.
But do they have any in real life with each other?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing anything.
Did they ever speak to each other in the Avengers? Did they even speak to each other?
I don't even remember any speaking roles with them in the Avengers. Those two, I don't. It's not like, say, they were going to do a miniseries with Hawkeye and Black Widow. They've actually had some interaction.
Yeah.
I don't see that with Falcon and Bucky. I just think they just figured, we'll just slap these two together and figure out, the rest later. Amanda Gilliam Presents says, I think it's sad. Everything we watch, we either have to have knowledge of either other shows or the comics they are pulling from.
Which is unfortunate because filmmaking should be its standalone storytelling, and all these other things should be supplemental. You don't have to ever read a single Superman comic to enjoy the original like Donner movies, right? I mean, they just stand on their own because the myth is there. And Batman, you don't have to have read a single thing to understand most of the films that have been done about him. But now we're in a place where this is sort of, again, these are corporate bean counters saying synergies. If they don't understand the movie, they're going to go out and buy the comic book. No, they're just not going to watch the movie a second time. So money.
Yeah, it's like you should be able to again, let it stand on its own. I should be able to figure out what's going on. I shouldn't have to read a book or anything like that to figure it out. I mean, you have that baseline comics lore. Like if you watch a Batman movie, you pretty much know that oh God, Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Yeah, and you know the backstory. Pretty much every movie references his mom and dad getting killed, right? So
yeah,
every movie references it.
Yeah, I've seen multiple interviews with just the two of them, and they bounce off of each other like Riggs and Murtaugh.
Right.
I've never seen it. If they can pull that off with the writing, that would be great. But the trailer's not selling it to me. That's the issue that I have. It's just it's not selling, because the trailer should be able to sell it to you to make you to watch. Like WandaVision, when I first heard about it, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't freaking care about it. And then they dropped the trailer, and people were like, I can't freaking wait to see this. So I didn't.
The trailer is underwhelming. You know, I don't know what this is about. I mean, it's all about their dynamic, but I don't know. I don't really know what the villain wants. I don't know what the threat is, right? I don't know what the bigger picture is. So I don't know.
What spoiler, Megatron? What spoiler?
What are you talking about?
What spoiler?
Well,
we're not doing spoilers in here.
How can we spoil something we haven't watched yet?
Yeah, no spoilers.
No, he's like, spoiler. Batman's parents got killed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you didn't know that, you should know.
I thought everybody knew that.
Spoiler alert! This is live.
Hey, Zachariah. Let's see. Hold on. They're gay, okay? They're super gay, but if you tell me the white one is the top, then that's racist. Okay.
It's not racist if their eyes are closed.
Keep moving.
Oh, God. John Walker was the original U.S. agent. He was superpowered and was given the mantle of Captain America temporarily when it was thought Captain America was killed in the 80s. Okay, I'm taking it. That's from
again. That's great mythology. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I didn't know Bruce Wayne was Batman.
And USA Agent supposedly is also part of the West Coast Avengers, which also kind of ties in with the whole WandaVision stuff. Because if they are going to go the West Coast Avengers and start that project up, that means we could see these characters moving over to another project. No, they're not dead. They're just having a long sleep in an alley.
Don't spoil WandaVision episode. No, I'm not spoiling. We're not doing spoilers for.
I haven't seen any of it, so I mean, I didn't feel like I learned anything that I was like, oh my God.
Nah. Unless I specifically tell you there's going to be spoilers. No, we don't do that for there. We don't do that for there. But yeah.
Good. You got 45 people watching. That's actually pretty good. You got a lot of people watching today.
Awesome. Yeah,
I made 30 accounts. It's really hard.
Y'all heard Cameron was going to be here. So to wrap up, Cameron, any last thoughts about anything you have coming up that we should be on the lookout for?
When are you on the Dark Council?
I'm sorry?
When are you on the Dark Council?
Yeah, I sort of accidentally got on the Dark Council, and all the people happened to be on another cast. I was like, I'm on the Dark Council, because they never actually want me on the Dark Council, right? I tease Abu Nas about it all the time, so I think I fulfilled my obligation there. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm here. I'm doing my thing. You know, it's I'm hoping to be able to announce one of my I have several shows that I've been developing for over a year now, doing all of this nonsense we've been in, and things been delayed because of that process. One show I got a director attached, and then there was drama behind the scenes with the original rights holder who had the rights to the original idea, who's like, I want more money, right? And so that drama begins, right? And it's like, oh, we're about to go out with a big director, we're about to sell this thing. Yeah, that's why I want more money right now. And so that's Hollywood, right? Just as you're about to get something to happen, nonsense begins. And so I'm going through a lot of that stuff, but I'm actually hoping that on the next time I'm back on Lorraine, I can announce I've got the show that's been sold that you can all go watch, and it'll be great. It'll be interesting. This last year I have become very outspoken on shows like Lorena's show, and people in the industry are aware of it. They know that I've said a lot of the things that I've said. They know I've talked about Star Wars and said things that have been said privately that people are not courageous enough to say publicly. We'll see how that impacts my career in the future. I mean, at this point, I'm like 20 years having my ass kicked. I don't care anymore, but it'll be interesting to see how the next year plays out.
Okay, well, definitely looking forward to it, because Cameron, I love the fact that your voice is out there, in Hollywood, doing what you're doing, being true to who you are. And it is definitely appreciated, especially in the fandom. And, you always have an open invitation to come on the show, even if I have to put the show on a different day.
Well, get rid of this Seagal dude and bring like Mandy Summer and some other hot chicks on here, man.
Oh, you know I can do that.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah. I just want hot chicks on here. I have to tolerate this dude. You're a nice dude, but I would rather have hot chicks.
He's very serious. That's why Tom had to put the APB out to Toxic Fam and say, you guys want to come
What
on
a sexist. Jesus.
Anyone who follows my Twitter feed knows my perspective on the ladies. So
absolutely. Yes. And they watch us. They watch us and they watch us and they listen to us.
Yeah, and they do, and you guys are actually having a real influence. So hopefully someone's going to hear about the commentary about this trailer and start thinking about it. You know, if there's any last minute tweaks to do. So,
they did some work.
Cameron, I'm gonna break news to you. Mandy likes me too. No.
She's Southern. She sounds like she likes everyone. That's how it works.
No. You're not doing the self-esteem destroy. That's the rest of the week I gotta look forward to. You're not doing it
I didn't want to break that to him, Cameron, so I'm glad you did for me.
I will clip the last interview.
Like
I swear.
And then she's gone. And whatever.
No, I don't think she's in love with me, but she likes me. I've seen the interview. It was an hour, a good hour of lying, if that's a lie. But you know,
I'm sure she likes you. I like you too. I just like beautiful women more.
So do I. But I'm not trying to kick people off the show that you're guesting on to get more women. Get that fat guy out of here. I want more boobies.
Well, folks, we're going to wrap up here because
on that
show, and I'm so glad, he could come in here and hang out with us. It's always a great time having you here. Links to Cameron's social media is in the description box, so please do follow him, subscribe to him. Subscribe to everyone on the channel. And again, thanks so much to all of you supporting the show, just being in the chat, commenting, super chats, all of that. We love it because, without you guys, we just would not have a show. So take care and we will see you next time. Is that something, Stephen?
We're going to close out with a little bit of funny. I think it'd be good if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Actually, I cut
you get to hear me acting all perverted anyways. If that's okay, because I'm so toxic and a male. So there you go.
It's a minute 22. If I get claimed, I'm clipping this out.
You won't get claimed. They tried to claim the song format last time, but they claimed the wrong song. So
okay.
If you'll be a claimant, all you have to do is to dispute it or cut it out after. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone remember She-Hulk? Yeah. This is the old She-Hulk. I'm going to talk over it. There is me doing that. I'm going to be going. Oh yeah.
There we go.
All right.
She looks like a chick. Yeah. See, that's who I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, someone pointed out on my Twitter feed that the original She-Hulk was very masculine looking, and then I was like, but nobody remembers that version.
No.
And that version didn't catch on. That's why they made her look like this.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry for the bikini. It's coming up.
Which bikini? Okay.
That one.
Oh, here we go.
That's actually
well, that throws me back to the Orion slave girl.
Yes.
All right. Now, wait. It's coming up.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
That one's cool. I like that one too.
Wait for it.
A little BDSM going on there. Okay, here we go.
No. Shh. Wow.
That's a real. I love that outfit.
Oh no.
Oh
no. Oh God. No. What? What the fuck?
Okay.
I think it was Stephen Walton. Someone said she, her Hulk.
Ooh.
She, her Hulk. Which she/her Hulk.
Thank you for that.
Well, thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Again, yes, he does need the record scratch effect on that. Yeah, you do. You need to add that, Stephen.
Add what?
Add that. That's just
record scratch. Like old rap songs from the 80s.
That was me for a minute going, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
what the
folks,
hell? No.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and just keep an eye out for our next show. And for those watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.
Have a great day, guys. Oh yeah.